So, hello, and welcome everyone to our Soul Abundance introduction evening. Thank you all so much for being here. Everyone who's able to join live, anyone who's watching the recording, you're very welcome too. You're here energetically as well. So this call, I just wanted to take some time. It was very funny when I plan these. I don't always consciously know why I'm planning certain calls at certain times, and then we get to the day and it's very obvious. So we're going to talk a little bit about the astrology, about Jupiter being in Taurus. We won't go into it a whole lot, but just to give you an idea of what's going on right now that is supporting this, all the information that we're going to be talking about soul abundance and manifesting. And really stripping it back, getting out of I know people love a hack and they love a trick and they love a whatever. We're going to get out of that because so much of that stuff doesn't work, or it works for a little bit of time, or it's based in kind of flawed thinking. So we're really going to get to the heart and soul of it, about what really matters and what actually works on some deeper levels. And we'll look at some reasons that you maybe haven't thought of for why things haven't manifested or created or shown up in your life, which will hopefully bring some clarity and some aha moments. I know when I realized these things, it made a big difference for me. Yeah. So that is the plan for this evening. Again, if there's any questions or anything you want to share throughout, feel free to type away in the chat, and we'll stop at the end. We'll stop the recording at the end for any additional questions. What I want to do to start is just to take a moment to just center us and get us all here. We'll just do a really just 2-minute little meditation just to get us all here. So I invite you to close your eyes and just take in some full body breaths. You really fill and empty your lungs. So much of the time we're shallow breathing. And just breathe at your own pace. And if you want to and are able, if you can breathe in and out of your nose, nostril breathing is a great way to just calm the nervous system quickly. It's a really simple way to do it. And just take a moment to allow your muscles to relax, your joints to soften. You got any spinning, whirling thoughts, anything that's a distraction, anything that's pulling at you, just allow that to sit to the side for now. Not anything that you need at the moment. So just feel your thoughts and your nervous system calming right down. And if there's any tension or stress anywhere in your body that you're holding on to things that are creating suffering or problems, you can breathe into those parts of your body. And just really bring your focus into your heart. Just recognize for a moment how grand your heart and your heart chakra is. There's a lot of space and spaciousness there for you to create, for you to love, for you to feel, for you to recognize your priorities and what really lights you up. That is what the heart is for, not heartache and suffering. Just allow your heart to expand out through your body, through your energy field. And you can allow it to expand beyond, because we know how powerful the energy of the heart is. It's more powerful than the brain. So just allow yourself to feel really at peace with it. Start to recognize its strength, to allow it and you to be a bit more spacious while we're here tonight. Right. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. If you would like to say hello in the chat and just share where you're joining from, that would be great. I know we've got a few different continents going on, so that's always fun. So yeah, hello everybody that's joined already. Yes, breathing deep and feeling the peace. Yeah. Love it. Yes. Oh, Max is in Glasgow, Teresa and Anna and Jennifer, Julie in sunny Edinburgh. Yes, it is sunny. It's been sunny for like a week. It's so exciting. Yeah, Jennifer's in Toronto, Canada. Anna's in Liverpool, England. Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining. Stuart's in Pennycook. And yeah, and actually, I don't know if there's any questions that you're thinking of or any intentions or I don't know, anything that you're wanting to touch on or recognize or I don't know, understand tonight. Feel free to type that in the chat too. Again, I've got a lot to cover, but happy to integrate those things in as well. So keep typing if you're typing away. Yeah, so what I wanted to start with is this transit of Jupiter and Taurus. And I've been talking about this for a number of weeks now, and it's pretty exciting. So really briefly, just to give you an idea of what's going on, is that Jupiter is one of the benefic planets. There's only 2 benefics. The others are either neutral or not. Not to mean that they're bad, but it just means that Jupiter and Venus are the 2 that really bring this feeling of good fortune, of good luck, of gifts, of feelings of abundance and prosperity. They bring them with them wherever they go. So Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. It knows what it is. It is the bringer of gifts. So you can think of it as like Santa Claus is one of the things I like to think about, the bringer of gifts. It's also the guru, it's the masters, it's the it's the seeker, the higher perspective. It is that divine path that we're all on and seeking and working our way through. So it's not just it can be, physical gifts of the physical world. It's also the spiritual gifts and the gifts of who and what we really are on the deepest levels, like the innate gifts that we're born with and that we cultivate and share with the world. So it is now in Taurus for a year. Jupiter takes a year to transit through each sign. Taurus is the physical world. It's the first earth sign. And Taurus really brings us back to what is important to me, what is important for my life, what is important for the quality of my life, what is important to me in terms of what I find beautiful. So that's art, music, texture, color, the way you feel, again, that quality of life that you're living. And it's ruled by Venus, which is the other benefic. So we've got a benefic planet and a benefic sign. So it's double good. And this is why I'm like, oh, this is why I'm talking about this at the beginning of June, is because we've just come into this transit. So we've got a year of this to play with. And I would really encourage you over the course of the next year to bring some focus onto the stuff that we're going to talk about tonight. So this is really going to set you up for a while. And obviously, some of these ideas or things that you're wanting to create may evolve or change some over time, and that is fine. That's absolutely fine. You may find that you manifest some of those things, and then you're like, oh, what else do I want now? So you may find that some of this evolves and changes, and that's great. But again, I just want to, plant that seed, plant that idea that we're in an energy right now that, has that feeling of good fortune. So go with it. Go with it. Yes. So hello from Teresa in Edinburgh, Lucia welcoming abundance and change with an open heart. I love it. That's perfect. Amen to all of that. So, so again, I really want to kind of hopefully demystify some of this and get out of some of again, I know people really love a hack. They really love a quick fix. We're dopamine people. We like a quick fix. We like something fast. We like it right now. But it's that realization that some of the best things in life are things that come over time, or things that we work towards and create. So I really want to kind of get out of this mindset that if it doesn't happen instantly, I failed. If it doesn't happen immediately, I've done something wrong. Because that is not the case. So the first thing I want to start with is talking to you about, so I know I've called this kind of soul manifesting and abundance, but I read something the other day. It just caught my eye. I think it was one of the Gene Keys posts. And it was just the word prosperity. And as soon as I saw prosperity, I was like, that's it. We're going deeper than manifesting in abundance. We're going for prosperity. And so when you look up that word, it means things like success, it means to flourish, and it means to thrive. Just breathe that in for a second. And also one of the definitions had good fortune, which again, that's Jupiter. So I was like, good fortune, that's perfect. Um, so I think a lot of times we can get caught up in, again, the games, the processes, all these tricks and things around how do you manifest? How do you create abundance? It's and all this focus on, money or physical abundance, which is all great. Like none of that is bad. But tonight I want to go deeper than that and to looking at the why behind those things as opposed to accumulating just to accumulate. Um, so, when we talk about, with prosperity being success, that's really looking at what success means for you. And that will be different for everybody because we all have different desires, hopes, and dreams. Um, and I know that, some people can have really interesting ideas about what is successful, and they are measuring themselves against things that either isn't for them or the timing isn't right, or they've just gotten into their, some of it's the collective conditioning around what success means, about it having all the pretty Instagram pictures where you don't show any of the hardships or suffering, you only just show the best stuff. um, and kind of that false sense of success. Um, so I would encourage you to maybe loosen up your definition of what success is for you, and any way that you are comparing yourself to other people, any way that you're comparing yourselves in ways that create judgment and criticism and criticalness towards yourself, because that becomes then a self-punishment, and it's really damaging to self-esteem and confidence and things like that, when we're in that outer thing. Something I want to say as well is that, so much of the stuff we're going to talk about tonight is about coming back within. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is look to the outside world for inspiration, because yes, you can meet inspirational people. You can see, lifestyles, quality of life, things that are interesting and exciting and that resonate for you. But again, if the pursuit then becomes this thing of I'm chasing that as opposed to I'm going within to recognize what really resonates, that's where we start to trip up and fall over ourselves and create our own problems. So I like the other words around kind of flourishing and thriving with prosperity. Because when you think about, so for me, when I think about flourishing, it's like a flower blooming or a tree growing. It's something that is not only alive and healthy, but it is blooming. It's creating something more. There's new life coming from it too. And I think with a lot of kind of manifesting and abundant stuff, it's this thing around consume, take, receive, but not what do you actually do with it and what does it become once it's part of your life? Because if it's something that you consume and then consumes you, that actually cuts you off and stops you from being prosperous and being able to flourish. So a lot of the things I look at when I'm looking at, what do I want to create? What do I want to receive? There's always that element of how is this going to help me continue to grow? How is this going to feed me or nourish me in a way that there's something that comes from it? So it's a kind of that self-perpetuating, it's always moving, it's always growing. It becomes like a self-sustaining thing. So again, just wanted to kind of plant that idea. And this idea of thriving, it's that survive or thrive. A lot of us have been in survival mode for a while now. Some of us in aspects our whole lives, that's, that's part of the past. But again, how do we start to shift that idea of, I'm not just here to survive. I'm not just here to get through this life and that's it. We are here to experience more than that. So that idea of what would it be like if I could thrive? What would it be like if I was prosperous? What would my life look like and feel like if prosperity was a part of not only just certain aspects of my life or certain times of my life, but is a running theme that runs through. So hopefully that makes sense. Feel free to share anything that comes up or any questions that are coming up. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about is this idea of choice. Um, and so much goes into that. And really, that's what a lot of this boils down to is what are the choices that we're making every day, all the time, on a regular basis that contribute to the life that we lead. Um, and so much of the time, we are making choices based on our fears. We're making choices based on what we've been told is possible, what we believe is possible, because we're either watching other people or it's what we've grown up with. So a lot of this conditioning is there for a reason. Um, but the idea is that if you continue with it and it's not working for you, it's probably just going to continue to not work for you. So for me, the biggest thing is around looking at what are the choices that I'm making over and over again. Um, One of the things that comes up a lot for people is this fear around choice and this fear of I'm going to get it wrong. I'm going to choose the wrong thing and I'm going to be stuck with it. And I don't know where I heard this from, otherwise I would credit them. But I love this. What I heard a few years ago was this thing of you just get to choose all the time. Like, our day is made up of thousands and thousands of choices, which in some ways might feel a little exhausting or overwhelming. But how cool is it that we just get to keep choosing? So if you choose something and you go, oh, actually, this isn't what I thought it was going to be, or it's not working out the way I thought it would, or oh, I just realized it doesn't really resonate. The cool thing is you always just get another choice. So we can often have these belief systems that you're only allowed a certain amount, you're only allowed a certain number of choices. It's got to be perfect this time. This perfectionism stuff can really get in the way. Um, but you get to choose over and over and over again. And the reality is that every single one of us, you could make one new choice tomorrow or today and change your whole life. There's a choice right now that could change your entire life if you wanted to make it, So again, I think we feel really limited. We get caught in this idea. I was talking about this with clients the other day, this thing around we believe that so much of the time we're like, oh, I have to choose this or this. And they're usually two extremes. And usually neither of them really fits. So we put off actively making choices or seeking out a healthy choice because we think we're stuck with two. The reality is if we opened up our perspective so that we could recognize more and follow our intuition, we recognize that there are many, many, many more choices than that. There's so many more options than that. Now, maybe all of them won't resonate, but I bet you would be able to find a couple that resonate more than the two extremes and the ones that you think you have to choose between. So this is where it's good to start to question your mind and question these beliefs that come through, and to question when you think, oh, I have to choose this or this, and neither of them feel right, to go, actually, what are the other options that are there? What are the other possibilities that are there? Because there's always something else. There's always another choice that's there. And there's going to be one that resonates more. So something that you can start to do that will help you is to start to really consciously choose in your daily life, to really look at what are the choices I'm making every day that are unhealthy for me, that stop me from feeling connected with others, that stop me from feeling nourished, that stop me from feeling supported. What are the things that I'm choosing? And this can be simple things like food, or whether you go out for a walk and move your body or not. It can be who you're choosing to spend your time with. It can be very, very small things. But again, the small things that you're doing all the time make up your life. And it's often the choices that we're making all the time unconsciously, or because we're afraid to choose something else. That's what's stopping you from having the life that you want to have, from having the prosperity that you want to experience. So something on a practical level, I would really encourage you to look at, and I do have an ebook on this on my website called Fierce Freedom. And it is really looking at your daily practices, your daily choices, what you feel is non-negotiable for you. And you can also look at something that's along the lines of kind of hedonic calendaring, where you're looking at not only what am I doing every day, but what am I doing every week? What am I doing every month? What am I doing every quarter? What am I doing every year? And are these things that I'm scheduling in and planning having the impact that on the quality of the life that I want to lead? So if you are not consciously choosing, that's going to trip you up every time. If you are solely going on habit, if you're solely going on what you've always done and it's not working for you, that is where you start. So it comes back to you, your responsibility to your own choices and recognizing the cause and effect of those choices. Um, so we'll talk a little bit more about that later on too. And again, I can send you some more information, but I just want to plant that for now so you can start to play with those ideas. So really what this leads to is looking at the quality of life that you want to lead. And when anybody starts to talk about, manifesting abundance, physical, emotional, whatever it is, relationships, what I encourage you to come back to every time is, what is the quality of life that you want to live? And why? And again, this is something that will be different for everybody. There are some people that want adventure in their lives. They want to travel, they want to see the world. If they're not able to have some adventure and something new and something interesting, they feel flat, they feel bored, they feel lifeless, they feel like life sucks. Some people just want to have some peace and calm. They want to be able to, sit and read their book on a Sunday afternoon in the sunshine. Or they want to have more peace within their relationships. That peace is something that's really calling to them. For some people, they want to have a lot of laughter. They've got great sense of humor. They want people in their lives that they can laugh with, that they can joke with, that they can have fun with. Yeah, so again, there's going to be different things for everybody. You've got to figure out what is calling you. And I would say this is something that is probably a running theme through your life. There's probably these desires, or this desire for this quality has probably been driving a lot of the choices that you make. It may be driving some unhealthy choices that you're making. So a lot of people really value freedom, but instead of choosing things that will help them create more freedom, they choose avoidance and they run away from stuff. So the things that they're responsible for, they want to run away from, because that's the only type of freedom they can feel they can find, or they feel that they have. That's not freedom. That's avoidance. So when you really start to get clear on, what are my values? What do I value in life? What are the experiences that I value? What are the types of people that I value? The types of interactions that I value? And in terms of especially your time, like, how do you want to spend your time? We've all got the same number of hours. That time goes fast. I don't know how many times I've said lately, I don't know what day it is. Like, time just doesn't make sense anymore. It seems to be going. So time is going to go. Um, and if you're just caught up in the habitual, I'm supposed to be doing this, I have to be doing this, this is the only option I have, then time will just keep passing. So again, really getting that understanding of what's the quality of my life I want, how do I want to be spending my time, what is meaningful to me, what is going to contribute to the quality of life that I want to have. And again, you can strip this back to, what are the daily choices that I'm making with how I treat my body, with how I treat my mind, with the interactions that I'm having with people, whether they're deep and meaningful, or I just keep them on the surface because I'm too scared to be vulnerable and open and have a real heart-to-heart conversation with somebody. You can start to look at these things and again recognize all of these things contribute to the life that you're living. If it doesn't feel prosperous, those are the things that need to change first. So look at the food you're eating, look at whether you're moving your body or not. Look at the types of conversations you're having, look at the interactions you're having with people. These are the things that are important. These are the things that make it up. And when you get those foundations in place, other things start to fall into place. Other things start to click in. Yes. So hopefully that is helping I can feel the wheels turning in people's minds. So with that, with that quality of life, I get a lot of people asking about, how active versus passive you need to be in terms of manifesting. Because I know that there's a lot of people who talk about, you put it out to the universe and then you sit back and wait and trust. Maybe. There's a degree to that. We're also physical beings in a physical world. And there are some things that are going to require us to take some action. Some of that is because taking action shows that we've made a choice, that we've made a decision, and we're willing to commit to it. Um, I always joke about how if you want to win the lottery, you got to at least go buy a lottery ticket. So this idea of I just say I want £1,000,000 and it's just going to show up, maybe, but probably not. So, I think it's also really looking at, again, those choices that you're making, the actions that you're taking. Are they contributing? Are they helping to bring that energy in or stir up the energy enough so that there is movement, so that there is something new that can come in? Because sitting back and just waiting sometimes it's just an email you need to send or something small. I'm not saying they all have to be big, grand, massive, arduous things that you're doing. But if you can allow yourself to recognize or just ask those questions of, if in this area of my life, if this is what I want to evolve, what are the inspired actions that I can take? Not I need to do 83 steps to get there, but what are the inspired actions I can take that are actually going to work, that are actually going to contribute, and that are actually going to be a part of bringing that to me or helping me to create that. So I'm going to encourage you to, recognize that it requires some movement, whether it's physically or of your mind or of your energy. It's going to require some movement. It requires some spaciousness in there. If you're just sitting still all the time, if you're not changing your mindset, if you're not questioning your beliefs, if you're not, I don't know, doing something different, again, nothing different happens. So I'm going to encourage you to stretch your mind and stretch your energy, and also really look at what you can do to get out of your comfort zone. Because the comfort zone is where dreams go to die. Nothing grows in your comfort zone. We're talking about flourishing. Stuff doesn't grow there. You'll survive there, but you're going to have a hard time thriving there. So again, I'm really going to encourage you to kind of look at what are the actions that I can take. Again, even if it's just mindset, even if it's reading or learning or meditating, that's all active in some way. What are the things that I can do that are going to help stir that energy up and help me to create that? Yes. So, yeah. So let's move on to creativity. So, one of the things I ask a lot for people is when they're talking about, wanting to manifest or create something new is, what creative acts are you involved in right now? So, again, that could be smaller things like, I don't know, trying new recipes, taking a cooking class, going to a dance class, singing in your house. It can be writing in your journal. They don't have to be, you doing it in a professional sense to the highest standard. It can just be purely for your own enjoyment. But when we're talking about kind of prosperity and manifesting in abundance, that's a creative energy. Having that come in is a creative energy. And if you're not doing anything in your life, again, if you're in your comfort zone, just repeating the habits, making the same choices over and over again, it's very hard for that creative energy to move and to work. So I would encourage you, I've got paints and paintbrushes here. I'm not a good painter, but every once in a while, I'll get them out and play because I feel inspired to do it. So sometimes that's a sign that I'm already in that energy flow. Sometimes it's a sign for me to just get back in that creative mode and just see what can start to move through. So I would encourage you to, whether it's a class, whether it's something you do with a friend, whether it's something you're doing on your own, really look at what are some creative acts that I can participate in or take part in or just do myself. Again, not because you're just trying to manifest, but because it's something from your heart. It's something that you're interested in, and it's something that you can really express yourself through. Yeah, if anybody has any things that they already do and want to share it in the chat for the group, that's really great. Again, it can be playing an instrument. It could be, I don't know, putting together different outfits, doing something with your own fashion, redecorating in your house, moving stuff around. It's you're creating a different atmosphere, you're creating a different energy, you're doing something to express yourself in a different way so that you feel more aligned and more healthy. Yeah. So we've got a few more things to go through. Oh, Julie got around to using a coloring book that you bought ages ago. I love that. Yeah, I love a coloring book. Yeah, play with it. Have fun with it. Enjoy it. Color outside the lines. Draw some other stuff in too. Do what feels good for you. Anna doing more making new food like salad dressings, growing my own like salad. Yes, I love that. That is perfect. And again, speaking of that whole flourishing the plants metaphor, that's absolutely perfect. Arletta's doing gardens. That's a creative outlook right now, and cooking. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Mags has been decorating, feel the energy in my house and in myself. That's perfect. I love it. Absolutely. Yes. So, oh yeah, Anna, it's so true that gardening is such a mirror for growth and thriving. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah, get your hands in the dirt. Enjoy it. um, so I want to talk a little bit, we're going to move a little bit more into the like intuition and more into the soul stuff now. So what I find really interesting is when you start to talk about, creating and receiving and manifesting, there's this whole element of like false hope and false wishes, like pie in the sky, totally disconnected wishes. There's also the other side of it which is the element of like desperation and clinging and clutching to stuff. So neither of those is what we're talking about today. Um, so the word I like, and I got this from Danielle Laporte, I think she's talked about in the past about this notion of desire. And for me, it has a deeper resonance than, yeah, I just think I want these things, or I think I want to have this. And I think it was Rumi that was talking about, oh, I'm going to misquote this idea of hope. Was this Rumi or not? Anyway, the notion of hope. Hope is not a false thing, and hope is not something that is disconnected. That you can say things like, I hope I win $1 million. Sure. But that's not true hope. Like true hope has foundations within you, and it is something that is heart-based. And so when you're looking at things like what you're really hoping for and wishing for that are based in something deeper and more meaningful, then, oh, wouldn't it be easy or wonderful if this just fell into my lap? So, and this really gets us into the why behind what we want to create and what we want to manifest. And if you cannot understand your why, or if it's not deep enough to resonate, it usually doesn't work out. Or to work out and it'll feel empty and hollow, and you won't want it anymore. It won't have a real feeling of satisfaction to it. So I would really encourage you to, anytime you're making choices, ask yourself, why am I creating this? Why am I hoping for this? Why do I desire this? Why do I really want to bring this into my world? Yes. And I think for a lot of people, they feel like they don't know what they want, but actually it's because they haven't questioned it enough. They haven't really gotten into the whys around what they're wanting. And I think sometimes it's because we're scared to ask. We're afraid that it's not going to happen. We're afraid we're going to fail. We're afraid that it's going to be wrong. All of those old belief stuff can come up. But if you can really get into the why you're creating something, and instead of being in your head and trying to talk yourself into it or fool yourself into it, really getting into the, why does my heart desire this? Why is this important in my life? What does this speak to me so strongly? When you really start to ask those questions, you then start to be guided by something deeper or higher than what your mind is saying it wants. And when you start to click into those threads or themes or notions, it almost has a effect of pulling you forward, not in a like pulling you off your feet kind of way, in an unhealthy way, but that's the guidance. So you feel drawn towards it because you know that it is something that's truly important for you. And the clearer you get on that importance and that understanding, the easier it is for you to move towards it without feeling exhausted, without feeling overwhelmed, without wanting to give up because it's too hard or too difficult, or any of those excuses that we go through when things get tough, or when we find some obstacles or it doesn't just land in our lap. And so this is where you're moving more into your intuition as opposed to the thinking mind. And that takes courage, and that takes, again, that ability to, or that willingness to move out of your comfort zone and into something new. But I can tell you over and over again, the times that I have thought something was a good idea and worked hard to manifest it or create it and it didn't work out, I can look back at all those and be like, thank God that didn't work out. That would have been a disaster. That would have been the worst. And so sometimes it's recognizing that when things don't work out, sometimes that's a blessing because it didn't have the depth, it didn't have the foundations to it that we really wanted it to have. Again, some of these were things that I really thought I wanted, that I really thought would work, that I really thought would be good for me. But it wasn't resonant enough. It wasn't aligned enough to really show up and unfold in my life. Letting go of these notions that you failed at some things. We're going to talk a little bit more about them in a minute, but letting go of that is a good thing. And again, really questioning the why. And I know sometimes the asking these questions over and over again may feel like the slow way, but actually it's the quicker way because it's so much more aligned and healthier. There's going to be some support or some resonance or some things that help to bring you through that. So again, some people want a shortcut, they want it fast, they want it here and they want it now, and then it all falls apart when it gets here because it didn't have the integrity with the choosing, it didn't have the integrity with the creation to really last. And this Jupiter in Taurus is interested in stuff that's going to last. It's not, I'm going to build on sand and let it fall apart in a year. This is the energy of the gifts are showing up. You prepare the foundations physically, mentally, spiritually, in your own body, in your own life. And that is where things can take root and grow. So just breathe that in. Yeah. And it's really got to be from the inside. So I know I said at the beginning, you can look outside of you for inspiration. You can see what other people are doing that's really cool. People are inventing and creating and doing all these interesting new things, new ways of doing things. It's an interesting time in the world. We have access to so much. We can see so many options, but it still is about recognizing, okay, that looks cool. That sounds interesting. Do I feel it within me? Again, does it tap into those qualities, that quality of life I want to live, the quality of relationships I want to be experiencing? What I find beautiful, what I find rich, what I find prosperous. It really is about coming back to the inside, coming back to the heart, letting the mind be a part of the deeper aspects of you. And one of the best things you can do as well, and again, this can be in your meditation practices, it can be in your healing work, but it can also be in your choices for what you're doing on a regular basis, is kind of this question of what would help me to expand? What would help my energy to expand, my perception to expand? Whatever that is, because when you are constricted, so when we get into our fears, when we get into our comfort zone, when we get into the habitual stuff, our energy constricts. We get tight, we get tense. We can feel it in our bodies. We feel weighed down, we feel heavy. It's hard to manifest and create in that state because everything's so tight and so fixed the way it is. There's not enough room for movement or growth. So again, this is why doing creative things, going to new places, meeting new people, having different conversations, trying new food, listening to new languages, new music, again, play with it that whatever way you want. This helps to get you out of the known and what you expect all the time, which helps to start to finish and break up and some of these habitual perceptions of the world and perceptions of what's possible and perceptions of what your life is and what it has to be. So anything that you are doing, physically, if you're stretching, getting massages, things like that, running, moving your body, if you're in meditation practices that allow you to expand your energy, that allow you to expand your mind, that help you to resolve these old conditioning, these old habits and beliefs, that is the stuff that's going to open you up enough so that that energy can start to flow. I mean, I am going to do a call in another week, which is a healing call where we're going to deal with a lot of this stuff as well. So feel free to join for that as well. But again, even if you're just kind of going into your own intuition and saying, what's going to help me to expand my world? What's going to help me to expand my energy? That's going to help you to not only receive more, but also gain new insight and clarity on what's probably more aligned for you and what's more aligned for you now. So something I want to talk about for a couple minutes. Let's see. Sorry, I lost the chat. Katrina gave myself permission to judicially hack tons of weeds. Still feel mean to the self-seeding plants, but creating spaces, taking a bit of control. Yeah, that's just setting boundaries, Katrina. They can grow elsewhere. You can tell them. Let the weeds know they can just grow somewhere else. Stuart noticed that I manifest easier when I truly desire something in my heart without doubt, fear, attachment, or lack. Currently, I'm enjoying spontaneous guitar playing with help to shift my energy and series of books I'm reading that are drawing me fully into the story with childlike excitement. Perfect. Stuart's doing it right. So everybody take your version of whatever that is. But yeah, be inspired by that because those are all great things that help you express yourself and get out of these old mindsets. Absolutely. I love that. Thanks for sharing. So I want to talk a bit about ways that soul is probably guiding you, and you may not be aware of it, and it might piss you off a little bit. Just a warning there. So I realized this, I don't know, a number of years ago, and it did piss me off a little bit, but it also made so much make sense. Things just really clicked when I really understood this. So if you think of yourself as a soul, like you're an eternal soul, that's the culmination of all your past and future lives. It's who you really are on the deepest levels. As human beings, we can sometimes feel a bit detached or disconnected from it. We kind of forget that feeling, or we feel a bit homeless. But the reality is that you as a soul are here and present. It's just in a different form and a different vibration. So you as a soul remembers and knows why you're here, why you chose to be here in this lifetime. You as a soul understands the big themes of your life, the not spontaneous, well, sometimes spontaneous meetings, but the synchronicities, the people that you're really meant to meet, the things that you're really meant to do, the opportunities that come up. A lot of that stuff is working out kind of behind the scenes in the energetic realm. And we can tap into that and do work to understand it more and work with it instead of it be just feeling like life is happening to us. But one of the things that I learned that I've just made things in my life make so much more sense was this idea of Dharma, which for me, Dharma it's your purposes in life. It's the things that you're here to do. But when you're really on the path of Dharma, it means you're living it. It means you're consciously choosing it too, that you're not trying to run away from it. You're not trying to avoid it. You're not fighting yourself. You're not fighting the world. You can still have some fears and some doubts come up around it for sure. You're human, but you're not actively fighting against it or just unconsciously sabotaging yourself and making things hard and difficult and creating suffering over and over and over again. So when you are living your Dharma, you're walking the path. You might veer off every once in a while, but for the most part, you're walking the path. You're showing up to be of service to the world. You're showing up authentically and aligned. You are representing yourself in a deeper way than just the surface. So in terms of manifesting abundance, creating, and this ties a little bit into that, what I was talking about before about not getting what I want or what I thought I wanted. If your dharma is to be a healer or a teacher, if your dharma is to show up for people and be a part of their journey, and you're saying, I want to win the lottery so I can lay on a beach and drink margaritas all day long for the rest of my life and never do anything else again, you're probably not going to win the lottery so that you can go lay on a beach and drink margaritas. The universe probably isn't going to help you with that. Now, if you're struggling with your dharma and your purposes right now and you need a break, you need a vacation, you need some time off, do that. Like, figure out how to make that happen. But again, if your dharma is you're someone who's a teacher, a carer, you're supporting others, you're a guide, so much of what people do is of service to the world in some way, shape, or form. I would really encourage you to, again, it's that why question. Like, why am I trying to manifest all this time off? Or why am I trying to manifest money? Why am I trying to manifest not being around people all the time? Like, the number of healers I know who are like, I don't really like people. I'm like, you might want to try to learn how, because you're meant to be working with them. And you're making it hard on yourself. You're fighting your dharma. And you're fighting against yourself and soul, because because of your hangups and your fears and your belief systems. And again, all that stuff, there's reasons for it, for sure. That's the stuff to heal. That really is the stuff to heal. So so there will be things that probably haven't worked out for you in the past because they do not align with your dharma and your purpose. They don't align with the path that you're walking. And so I would encourage you to, again, really feel into that notion of, again, why am I really here? Who am I really? Why am I here? And these things that I keep trying to create that are not happening, that are falling apart, that aren't working out, is it because they don't match? Is it because they don't resonate? They don't follow those threads? Like, I would love, like, my greatest dream in life is to be a rock star. I'm not going to be a rock star. I can bring elements of that through in what I do, but I'm probably not going to be up on a stage anytime soon, with the Foo Fighters or anything like that. It's not a part of my dharma, not a part of why I'm here. So I can feel so much shifting from talking about this. So the other side, though, is, again, I would say, if you're suffering a lot, if there's a lot of lack in your life, if there's a lot of difficulty and problems, that could also be a sign that you're out of alignment with your dharma. That suffering is trying to show you, get on track. Go do what you're here to do. Quit messing around. Stuart, I'll do some backing vocals for you. Absolutely. I will accept that invitation gladly. That would be amazing. So whatever we are manifesting or not, it can indicate, it's not going to give the whole picture for sure, but there can be indications of where you are out of alignment. So, I can feel that. Just breathe in whatever healing's coming through for you. Just let that happen for you. Oh, yeah. And again, like, most people are on track to a degree. Like, I don't ever meet people that are so way off that they're lost. We can feel lost. We can feel like it's difficult. But you can look back at your life, at the themes and threads running through your life, and you can get a sense of who you really are and what you're here to do. The job may change, the role may change, the title may change, the way you do it may change some, but there's going to be running themes that go throughout your life that you can recognize. So yeah, so it's worth looking at. So, I know some people make lists, some people do vision boards. I have a Pinterest board that's fun. It's one of my fun tools for it. Whatever you've been working towards, even if you haven't written it down or done a technique or anything for it, it is worth asking yourself, is this in alignment with who I really am? Do I understand the why behind what I'm trying to create with this? And is it something that is a part of my purpose and a part of my path that is going to help me be of service to the world or my community or my family or, whatever your circle is? Um, yeah, yeah. And if you're trying to create stuff that's going to take you wildly off course for a long time, you might struggle with it. But it's not a punishment. It's not a, you're wrong. It's not something to criticize yourself about or judge yourself over. I mean, a lot of people's self-confidence and self-esteem gets tied up in this stuff. And it's just because they are, again, it's that outward comparison. It's or feeling a bit lost or unsure and trying to, I don't know, to get back into that. So I would really encourage you to spend some time meditating with you as a soul to, yeah, be asking those questions of, yeah, who am I really? Why am I here? And what am I here to do right now? Like in the next year or two, like you can make it more specific. And then start to look at, well, what can I create that's going to support that? And if it's finances, money that's going to help you, yeah, see what you can do to create that. See if there's action you can take, if there's inspiration you can take. There's some things that you can do to help you create that because it's going to support you in that journey. If it's you're needing to collaborate with some people, start tuning into, right, what are the types of people that I can collaborate with? What are their qualities? What are the things that are important to me? What are the gifts and skills that I need around me that's going to help me make this? Yeah, what is the support that I need? Again, that's finances, that's people. It could be your self-care, supporting yourself. Are you actually taking time off? Are you actually resting? Are you actually doing things that feed and nourish your body? Are you actually doing things that helps your body repair, recover, gain strength, again, whatever that is. So again, that you can look at those supports and going either how do I do that myself or how do I start to open up so that others can help me with that so that I can receive that. But you've got to keep coming back to that why. The why, the why, the why. Because if it doesn't resonate deep enough, you might have a hard time. You might have some luck here and there. You might be able to do it every once in a while, but to create things that are really sustainable and more consistent, you need to really get clear on that why. And one thing I would say is, this last bit here is, dream a bit bigger. And this isn't the like pie in the sky hopes and dreams, but so many of us are settling, or we think, oh, this is all I'm going to be able to do, or this is all I'm going to be able to get, or I'm limited because of this, or I'm limited because of that. Expand that stuff, challenge those beliefs, allow yourself to play with, not just the two options. What if there's 100? What if there's 18 different ways that would work? Allow yourself to play with that. And then keep coming back to those desires that have a resonance, that have an integrity to them, those things that are really, that you can really walk forward with them. They've got something that's tangible to them. They've got something that has a feeling of realness to them. They can be a part of this reality. Yes. So what I want to do is I want to just take us into just a couple minutes meditation. And we're just going to connect with prosperity really and just see what comes through for you. So we'll just do a couple minutes in that energy. I would say just allow yourself to be open to any insight, information, healing, whatever comes through. Don't feel like you need to get caught up in the how it's going to happen. Those are details to work through for sure. But to start with, just allow the feeling of it to come through. Allow yourself to feel it. Allow yourself to find the resonance. Allow yourself to recognize, is this in my heart or is this in my head? If it's in your head, maybe let that float away for a while and come back into your heart and just see what comes up for you. So we'll go through that and then we'll stop the video and we'll if anybody's got questions or things they want to share, we'll do that then. Right. So if you want to take a moment and just get comfortable and close your eyes. And if you want to take a few nice deep breaths, again, just allowing your nervous system to calm, your thoughts to calm down, your body to relax. And come into your heart. And I want you to just feel into the beat of your heart, even if you're just imagining the heartbeat. You might be able to feel it. If you want to put your hand on your heart, that's fine too. But just allow yourself to connect with the rhythm. And take a moment just to imagine the energy center for your heart. To notice what color it is for you, shape, the size, the quality of it. And I want you to allow yourself to notice any areas of constriction, anywhere that your heart feels heavy or tight, feels like it's being pulled in. For the next few moments, you're just going to keep breathing in and out of your heart. And every time you breathe in, it expands a little bit more. And every time you breathe out, you're just releasing some of that constriction, some of that fixed energy, anything that's tense or heavy. So you breathe in, it opens and expands. You breathe out, you release the constriction. And just keep doing this at your own pace, so that your heart's expanding through your body, through your energy field. And just keep allowing your heart to expand further and further out through the room, through your home, expanding out through your city. You can expand out through the world and into the universe, just as big as you want to go. Because the more expanded you are, the more spaciousness there is for movement, for growth, and for transformation. So allow yourself to expand out through the universe, which is a benevolent universe. For the next minute or two, simply meditate on the word prosperity, which again, that means flourishing, it means to thrive, good fortune. So just sit with the energy of prosperity. Allow it to move through your energy field. Allow it to work through your body, through your cells. And allow yourself to start to understand what true prosperity is, what it looks like, and what it feels like for you. You may start to receive some insight or some guidance, or even just more of a feeling of what that's like in your life. And don't get caught up in the how. Just allow your intuition to open, so you can have some more understanding of prosperity in your world, in your life, in your body. Even if you just want to repeat that word every once in a while to bring you back to it. Prosperity. 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 Just keep allowing it to move through your energy field and through your body. Prosperity. Allow yourself to recognize that the energy right now on this planet and in this universe is aligning to support you with that understanding and with inspired action, with healthier choices, creativity, and choosing from heart and soul. And imagine that with every breath, you're breathing in more life force and prosperity. And you're breathing out the fear and the constriction. I'll have one more minute. So if there's any insight you can gain, any healing that can take place, even if it's just a word or a feeling, just allow yourself to witness that from inside of you right now. You can take in a few nice deep breaths. Whenever you are ready, you can open your eyes. If you feel at any point that you want to rewatch this or just repeat this meditation or even just the themes within it, it's a good one to come back to. And I would really encourage you over the coming days and weeks and months ahead, since we're in this transit for a year, to keep coming back to these ideas, these notions of, quality of life, quality of time. What am I doing that's creative? How am I expressing myself creatively? What are the choices that I'm making habitually versus the choices that are inspired? And again, what is in alignment with my dharma and my purposes, that can support me with that as well. Right. Thank you all so very much.